Hello and welcome to A Humanistic Perspective, Episode 7. I am one of your hosts, Chad Castilla, and I'm sitting with
Ethan Chad.
We are happy to come to you on this Monday.
It's Monday?
What is the date? Yeah. It's the 25th. It's January 25th.
This month went by fast.
This month has gone by really, really quick. We're trying to get in a nice little episode here before the potential snowstorm that's coming.
Snowstorm.
How has that been handling your day with your businesses? I think I've been overhearing you
I don't know.
in and out all day, having to deal with drivers, making sure drivers are getting to safe places. And how are you handling that protocol?
Today's been crazy. Jake, this morning when we got up,
Yeah.
I got up at 6, but I went to bed late. And I had to go drive to Yorkville to swap out some vehicles.
Okay. Yep.
Got going, and then as soon as we swapped vehicles, then Jake called me. And then, he got a flat tire. And he was just driving.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He got a flat tire. He was with 2 patients.
Two.
And then he had a flat tire. He couldn't get the lug nuts off. The guys were even helping him. He couldn't get the lug nuts off. So they had to call AAA. But AAA was actually fast for once, an hour. Not forever. Which
Nice,
Johnny's
that's
dad
terrible.
makes sure they have like the full AAA coverage always.
Nice.
Do you know what
That's
I'm
good.
talking? Like whatever. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I gotta get
like
that.
roadside assistance.
I've never really looked into that. Have you ever looked into roadside assistance? Like, I guess there's some things that I just let go right past my mind that I never look into.
There's like
and
an
that's
upgrade in the Ford package. So recently for our outdoor maintenance company, we purchased a Ford F-150 just to, get us through the season, to keep our fleet going.
We got a good deal, but we definitely could have negotiated better.
We could have negotiated way
now
better now.
And the fin codes we have.
Yes.
So we're like we got good on it for like what we did.
We ended up closing on the Ford F-150 standard base cab model. We did MSRP was like 27, and then they added like a $3,000 upgrade.
Yeah, the service package
and service package, which is really good.
It's
and it's like
worked out nice
it's their
because I
way
don't
of
care.
blending you into
Yeah.
the Ford Pass, which is how they sort of keep you attached as a consumer. They're trying to do what Tesla does.
Honestly, their site makes you want to pay them.
Yeah, low key. I have the Have you seen the app? Do you have the app?
No, but dude, all
you
the
get to,
stuff
name
they
your
sent
truck
me
and stuff.
for like
It's pretty interesting.
all the stuff they sent me as far as fleet vehicles, bro. I've been impressed. Like that makes me want to work.
So you want to talk about what that process is and what you're talking about when you say fleet codes? And
yeah, so basically with the fleet codes, which I don't know why many people would not go to, if you can standardize your fleets and keep it simple and have, you could hire one mechanic that knows how to work on just
Specific
that brand of
type of
vehicles,
model.
and you don't have to stock all this over inventory parts. Sure, you could go pick up parts, but if you want to be fast and optimized, you got to have enough stuff to be there for the vehicles. Know how to operate, know your mileage, what your MPG is, so you can base all your rates. You base all your
to
rates
make your
off
processes efficient.
Yeah, I mean, you base rates off your business structure comes down to your expenses. Right. So you're looking at your expenses as every way of saving money. Your expenses are your main thing. So if you can even cut those down and 0.25% or 0.1%, you're saving money in all different areas. Right. But you want to make sure you don't lack the service or like if it's crap, right? Like I'm not going to go pay for a crappy insurance policy
Just to save money.
So I can save money. No, I want to
So it's
protect
about
my equipment. So you want
valuable
quality stuff.
Yeah,
I guess.
quality stuff.
So like saving money, but with quality stuff. So like, for example, when we're trying to put like the cameras and the radars and the GPS trackers in our vehicles, I want to be able to figure out, I was like, okay, well, I can do this service through Verizon, which has been really good because we have lots of business lines, right? And it was a good discount. They come out to you. They professionally install them. They're constantly updating the cameras, right? Nice. So it's a little bit nicer because it's like, okay, yeah, it's easy.
Will that allow you to make like more accurate judgments of like how the car is handling with gas?
That's pretty much already. So like I've been wanting to get back with this, but the reason why I stopped, I was with a company called Samsara. And the company Samsara, it was like the same thing, right, as Verizon is doing and optimizing where your trucks are and stuff like that. But Samsara just didn't end up. They had me on a 3-year contract.
Sure.
Which is like
Did that just end recently?
Well, I
Or
was
did you
paying
get out
almost
of it?
$400 a month for each vehicle, and
Jesus.
Verizon cut those prices in half.
That's great.
But it's good. But then when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, in a year I'm going to pay $3,000 for my current fleet, right? More throughout the year, but currently that's where we'd be at right now. So I would be paying almost $3,000 a year paying this monthly price, right? But I can also just buy a whole new camera system with downloaded of our own HD discs, right? But you have to kind of do your stuff. It goes to your own cloud service, so you need a little bit more work because you got to
Sure.
set up support on all ends.
Right.
But I can buy it for $1,100. Some of them come with 5-year, 10-year warranties. That's still saving way more money, even if I replace it every 2 years.
100%.
You know, but then it's like it's a little bit more work, and it's not as live. Like you can go
Sure.
back and request the video.
And then
But
I
it's
also would say too that long-term value of investing in the cloud storage, because you're always going to have to buy more storage eventually.
Yeah,
But
but like the storage
it's
is
going to be
like as
even
far
worth it.
as
It's gonna
yeah,
be worth
it would be. And because like they only let you keep up to 90 days with Verizon, and then you're dealing with a corporation. If you really want your content, how really? I mean, you could get it if you really need to get anything, you can get it.
Right.
But like, do I really want to spend that much work versus having my own stuff that I can manage, use my own data collection, like just all these different things that like we could keep enhancing the AI inside of it eventually.
Yeah,
Thinking that far down the road.
that's good. I think we.
So then it's like I know
that
what the
should be
clear plan
implemented.
is, but watch this. As a business owner, I'm trying to grow, right? I want to use as much money to keep growing. They give you a nice thing. You don't have to pay for the first 6 months.
Nice.
So, right, I could get those right away, use that extra savings money, still have that safety initiative, and get back to that because it does give you all that vehicle programming, maintenance records. If an engine code comes on, you can see what the code is. Look up the code.
Good.
You can see what the gas levels are, what your mile per gallon you're getting.
Good.
So it analyzes a lot, which is very helpful. Okay, so now those are some things that you may not have in those camera systems, but you could track in other ways. So I think they make it so efficient for you not to do theirs, right? So there's some things you get, some things you lack, but sometimes the other things you don't really need. Maybe that's just extra. It just gives you more information, but be realistic. If you know your fleet, it's not like they're going into the shop every single day. You could really manage it on your own. It's a little bit more work. It's not like it's drastic,
Right. Yeah, and if you have a good team and you are really good at creating and
it's all about.
implementing,
Well, see, this is the
it'll
other
be
thing.
pretty easy.
The reason why we want to grow is because the bigger you have of vehicles, the more vehicles we have, it allows us to then redirect our revenues into different streams of medical that kind of work consecutively with our companies.
Right.
So we can kind of be, the medical industry, once you get into it, you really can just keep expanding. Like this is crazy. This is nothing for what I plan to do with the medical world. I think it's
Good.
I mean, there's just so many things. I mean, we waste so much money paying for Medicaid. I mean, countless middlemans that are not needed. And we're throwing, every state almost wasting $25 million and in the smallest state, Then you go
Right.
look to New York and we're wasting almost $450 million,
Right.
So like it's just unneeded money. Like it's a waste of money. Now, see, the
Like
thing
those
is with
monies could be
politics,
allocated way
it's
better.
all political, bro. Everything.
Right? No, I've seen it. I've seen it too. It's crazy. Just overhearing some of the conversations between brokers, between where they're getting their funds from.
Then the
and
insurance. It's just a gamble. It's a money. It's a waste. Business is not easy.
It's like
it's easy. I'll be honest. My business, it's awesome. It allows me to connect. It allows me to network. It allows me to meet. It allows me to adapt and get into lots of different industries. And it's great. It's great knowledge. It's a resource because at the end of the day, the industry we're in, everyone will need, recession proof or not. Recession or not, we'll still make it.
Right.
Times get tough, but there's a balance. It's never going to go away.
Correct.
But you have to keep up with the times. I see a good volatility of my business for about 12 years in the current industry markets, and I'm really trying to downscale it and work on a larger initiative behind all that, but have market dominance to test the things I want to do.
Correct. You're in an incubation phase. I would
so
call it.
I'm going to grow enough so I can keep operations to run the NEMT company. That's why I say this next year is going to be very fast.
Yeah.
Because it's understanding. We're getting ready to blow up. See, but I'm being very patient,
Elaborate.
understanding everything, making sure the right team's in place, and not pulling the trigger because you can pull the trigger at the wrong time and you're done. But you also got to know and see our business is fine. We're really in great profit margins. We keep spending money because it's reinvesting, but we really do have good profit margins. the thing which is great because there's a lot more businesses that you would not think struggle way more than they do.
Right.
I mean, Elon Musk has even said it himself. His company has
He's almost gone
gone
bankrupt.
on one day just $1, like almost $1, not even to make it.
Right.
So like, we're really in a good position. That's why I'm hindsight. And I didn't know that actually. I was definitely more scared when I was just first starting, but that's because I didn't know as much as I do now. So it's given me understanding, and now I've been really able, since you've been back, to like kind of shape my brain to be smarter and really start working towards what's important. Needless to say or not, I think it did, put everything in a combination, and it's crazy. As you put in this amount of work, you think at the time you're not really, it's not adding up or it's not doing anything, but all of a sudden it comes before you, and then you gain that little bit of inspiration. But then understanding like how the mind and our synapses work, then you're able to now realize, hey, I can do that all the time.
Right.
My brain is capable of that. I'm in control of my brain.
Exactly.
As much as people like to use other things to pull them, ultimately, if you can understand, you are in control of your brain.
Right. And
that's harder than other
that
times.
discernment is really hard to understand when you're younger, because I think there's a lot of other things happening. For example, hormones changing in that way. These
there's so many
social
things.
factors, right?
Well, just think of it like, too, sorry to interrupt because I want you to keep going, but when I think of it, it's like we're all human. It's in our nature.
Right.
So I get it. It's hard. Everyone deals with temptations. You're going to give into something. I don't think anyone's going to be perfect. I mean, if anything,
never.
I've realized that as much as our life was like maybe which people would say hard, but again, I don't think it was hard. I think
we faced adversity, but
it wasn't,
in a much
it wasn't
more
as bad as I would be shocked. Like so many other people now understanding their lives and families.
Exactly.
Like we were hard, but see, we had a good mindset. And there's people that deal with way weirder things or like way less, and then they deal with more and more and more, and they're not ready to handle it. Whereas us, it was just the first thing we dealt with, and okay, after we got past that, we knew we could do anything.
Yeah, it's that idea of like, if you start at the bottom, but you take incremental and consistent progressions towards what you want to do, or away from what you're doing, or what's holding you back, then in the end, you really do grow, and you gain. I think you gain a clarity and a conscious look on how you're handling the world, how the world handles itself, how all of it works together. And again, crazy. Once you start to piece those things together and then control your synapse and really just take the time to focus on what you want to focus on, you become way more productive. And just because of that, too, I think this is a great segue back into, we never even talked about what coffee we were drinking.
Sorry,
we jumped
I'm
right
excited,
in.
bro.
No, this is good. This is great. We are actually drinking today
need more coffee.
Don Diego. It is a gourmet Colombian coffee. It is a dark roast. That's all I gotta say. It is one of my favorite coffees. I got this actually in Ohio. It was a gift from a dear friend, and I've enjoyed it and cherished it over the last couple months. Yeah. So just taking a sip here. Sorry, I had to do the ASMR.
I know. I had to do a little run into the spill.
This coffee has such a body to it. There's such an oily presence.
I feel empowered with this coffee.
Hold on, Ethan. Look inside my cup, and you can actually see the oils on the top. Like if you slowly look at the top of the coffee.
Dude, we don't drink good coffee. I mean, well, we do better than other people, but like I'm just saying in general, like the U.S. drinks shitty coffee.
I want my Victor.
Oh, Victor.
My friend Victor Borges. Yeah, shout out Victor. I knew it wouldn't take a matter of time before I'd shout him out. I met him at Baldwin Wallace, and he was an exchange student.
He's a legend.
He is. We had a fantastic time together. I actually got to bring him home to Chicago for spring break, and his interpretation of this place is like, "Fuck that, man! It's too cold." And I was like,
you're
right.
Out of all your friends, I never really liked that. I mean, I didn't have a problem with any of your friends. I was just like focused on my own shit. I didn't really talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And But he was the one kid, like even when he came
he
back,
was much
Jake,
older. He was much older than
Jake,
everyone
I
else.
see. I relate to older people, I guess, because
Yeah.
they cut the bullshit out.
They do cut the bullshit easily.
But
But
then there's some
anyways,
that
his
don't.
dad owns a coffee farm,
I
actually.
remember.
So it would be really cool to get some of the beans fresh.
We could just hit him up. We got to.
Yeah, no, I seriously need to. We're planning a trip out there. The second it's
I don't
clears up
think that's
here
gonna
with
be
COVID.
maybe spring or the following
No,
summer.
I'm thinking at least a year away. Probably at least a year or more away.
Realistically, yeah.
But yeah, no. So really good coffee. Do you have any other notes or any opinions about it that I might have not covered?
No, it's got me up. That's all I gotta say.
You like the caffeine profile on it?
No, I was dragging. I mean, I've been working on my laptop since like.
Yeah, I was up early too. I got up today at 5:30.
You woke me up, but I knew I had to
I
get.
did.
But I'm so glad. If I went to the gym, I would have messed up so many things for my company. My company
Sure.
would have got way pushed back.
Way off.
Just
Yeah.
because, we had a lot going on.
No, I got up, did yoga, hit the gym, then I did a takedown for
Holiday lights.
holiday lighting, and then came back to the house. Been doing some laundry, had physics class. It's been a productive day.
I've been
Just
grinding. I
knocking
haven't
one
really
thing
talked
off
to
at
you,
a
to be
time.
honest.
Yeah, no, I've literally just been doing all sorts of stuff, sending out emails, booking up February. I mean, we pretty much have all of February booked up for the show, which is really exciting. So.
Good.
Yeah, no, we've got
Good.
really big things and exciting things coming for the program, and I'm just really grateful and excited to see where we go from here.
I'm ready, bro. Let's get it. See ya.
Yeah, do you want to talk about anything else, maybe with the companies or how you feeling? We
I
actually
didn't
have a
even
lot
go
to
into
talk
the fin
about.
code, but the fin code. I mean,
Yeah, we meant to say that. What is that for people?
So Ford FinCode, okay, we are lucky enough to be a government agency. So my current LLC, we take in over 90% from state income because the way we have our stuff contracted out, it's 90% state income. With that, that's technically because we're doing we're getting the money from a government fund source. We're a government agency, which then means we're non-taxable. So that was pretty cool to find out a few weeks ago. So that kind of will change a lot of things, but that's just something you get to grow and you develop to. Okay, I've been building, and it's like then you learn, and it's crazy that there are people out there, Chad, that take years to figure this out.
Years
And years.
And like you figured it out, and you didn't read books, so no one can tell me you have to be a learned person before you can figure this shit out.
Yeah, I didn't have to use books, although I wish I did. It would have made me much smarter. It would have made me.
It would have made you been able to articulate yourself.
Did you know that if I had spent $350, I would have known on one book? Now the guy, I don't believe he's not like he doesn't know everything. He knows a lot. I give him credit, for the current industry we're in. He knows a lot. But again, all that stuff that he knows and is teaching other people, I learned by myself in 1 year, which usually takes people like 6. Without even ever looking at his resources or knowing they're there until I kind of got to this point.
That's good then. That means that's like one of those key markers that you're doing the right thing.
And I think he's great in his industry, but again, I think certain people, we're going to get old one day, and the younger generations are going to be better than us. Right. There's just
they're going to be quicker.
There's some things there's a lot of people that will tend to argue. You got to give that respect and keep it the old way because, that's how it was. Don't come and test, test changing.
Fear innovation.
Yeah, they do. I mean, the U.S. is so slow with innovation. We are the slowest country.
It's funny because we are quickest because we create all the intellectual property, right? We create a lot of patents. We create a lot of intellectual ideas.
But China steals it.
Exactly. But then we are slow to actually embrace it and take it on. We'll case study it, we'll trial it, but then we're slow to take it on.
And that's why I realized that, Chad. In order to get to the point where I want to get in 5 years, I realized I had to set up grounds. You know how I'm always thinking big and keep going and going and going and going.
Sure.
I had to get to that point of where I was realizing myself in 15 years just so I could start planning to get to that point. Because otherwise I didn't have direction. And that's just partly my ADHD, but it's crazy. That's what makes me so it makes me have the ability to... Is it recording? Fuck. What's your password? 060603. Dude, it's not recording. When did the light go out? Oh, fuck. Oh, it just went out. Why did it stop good. Just take the flash off, maybe. But is it recording?
Yeah. For those watching on YouTube, sorry that the video cuts out in the middle, but we're stalling at that in between period right before we get our cameras here.
Oh, I
we're
know. I
ordering
cannot
them
wait
this
till they
week,
come.
but they're coming in, so it's a slow process. But
Unfortunately.
visual format's coming soon.
Very soon. This is
So
awful.
keep going. Where you left off there?
Yeah, no. I was talking about, what was I talking about?
I think you were talking about your business.
Okay, yeah. So no, growing up, but it helped me. I wish I would have read books.
Yeah.
That would have definitely, for sure, have sped it along. But the guy, there's just so many things, and the reason why I'm wanting to kind of the reason why I'm at where I'm at. That's where I was at. So basically, in order to get on top and grow with your businesses now, when I get to the point of understanding and realizing how diverse even state by state is with laws, regulations. I mean, in California, we're lifting the regulations all of a sudden, and I mean, if people can't realize, we went from black to sunny out over a 1-day period. All of a sudden, everything's opening up. Now we can all do sports,
Right. There's all these
and
little
it's awful to see that
subtleties
because
changed.
for me, it's still not right. You'll see the people that made the biggest deal about how we weren't taking enough cautions.
Right.
Are they looking at what's happening now? Like the amount of patients I've seen die this week from levels of medical personnel just not caring because they're too overworked.
Sure.
Some of the things I've been seeing with these patients and really within these dialysis centers and hospitals is people just don't care. It's so overloaded right now.
Yeah. And I think it's important
And
to note too that like people like dialysis is super essential.
Oh,
One
yeah.
day without that,
I mean,
and
a few
it could
days
be their
you're
last.
gone. Yeah, for sure. I mean, matters. Some people, if it gets to the point, and it just depends how critical you are. But it's just crazy. I think now more than ever we're able to brush this over. But you see, the numbers are increasing. Except all of a sudden, all the media and everything, it's a happy and light world. Doesn't quite make sense to me.
Sure. And I think that is the lackluster 24-hour news cycle that we've
It's so annoying. But
succumbed
I
to.
like to not look at that anymore.
Yeah,
we're us.
truly.
We're our life. And
Truly,
I think that's what
we
makes
have
us. We
there's-
never look at the internet.
It's
and
like
all that kind of stuff.
I was watching a wise man, Patrick Bet-David. I love his show, Valuetainment. Shout out to them. He just uploaded a video, and he was like, he just recently heard one of T-Pain's old songs, "Let Me Buy You a Drink."
Really?
The one that's like, "Baby
Yeah.
girl." Yeah.
What's your name?
Yeah,
Let me
exactly.
talk to
He
you.
just heard it for the
Buy
first
you a
time, and he
drink.
thought it was a brand new song. So he asked his buddy. He was like, "Yo, did you hear this song? It's brand new." And he's like, "Dude, that came out over fucking 14 years
Yeah,
ago."
I'm so
14 years ago. He said, "You want to know why I missed that? Because I committed to myself when I was like 18 years old or 20 years old at the time that I was done BSing, and I turned everything off. I stopped listening to the radio. I stopped listening to the TV. I started picking up books, and I started working." And then
you have
and then
to.
he said, "I got to where I wanted, and now I have that opportunity. I have those freedoms to explore and take the time to leisure towards endeavors." But at some point, he had to make the consistent commitment to the idea of growing himself, to the idea of obedience towards some level of professionality in career setting and goal achieving.
Yeah, it's crazy because imagine, again, I think we're grateful for every single day, Imagine if I didn't have you here today to talk to me and tell me things like this that make my mind go further,
Right.
That's why I'm so excited that you're, here. But it's because, again, what if you weren't here? Those things all make me think and get to my center of realization. Like, yeah, that's what you have to do. It's like a sign from up above,
Right.
It's like you have these thoughts and think, oh, yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Or that's what I probably should do.
Want to talk
but
about
then
that
you let the
idea of a sign of
temptations-
above? Or you keep going, and then I'll
Yeah,
say this.
I think you were going to tell me something earlier too. But for the temptations, they just pull you. And you got to, when you can start making your brain work, and you got to be smarter. You got to educate yourself. Not saying you have to educate yourself in the way the school system's taught
So
you.
you have
but you have,
ADHD. How do you center yourself?
see, that's the thing. I
A lot
have
of
to
people
find
say that
interest.
it's not possible because get diagnosed with something. They say I can't control it.
Oh, see, I don't think I do a good job controlling it, right?
Mm,
And I know that, but I do a good job probably to most people, right?
sure.
But for me, it's hard. But I'm such a strong head, and I just tell myself I know what I want so much, and whenever people tell me I can't do something, it just makes me want to do it more,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my motivation, because I'm never gonna do it until I can prove it.
Right.
I'm never
Yeah,
gonna
you'll
stop.
never settle.
I'm excited though. I've got some big plans. I honestly think I'll be dealing with government policy and the president of the United States within the next 2 to 3 years. That's
Nice.
what I'm planning.
And I really believe lately in the idea of putting it out there, and it will come. And
Yeah.
I want to give you an example. I thought while you were working, I shouted over and I said, "Whoa, this is crazy."
Yeah.
So
sorry, I
for
was
the
not
show
listening, but
and
yes.
for all of our businesses, I'm spending so much time thinking about all the content I want to generate, but I don't have enough hands to generate everything
Yes.
I need. And so I've been thinking, and you've been talking for the last 2 weeks, like we need to find someone we could bring on
Yeah.
that we trust, that could become a content person or can help us grow from a public relations, marketing, and curation standpoint.
And have you thought
Well,
of some people?
literally today, one of my good friends from college, I don't want to necessarily share yet if he
Sure.
doesn't want me to or not, but he hit me up today. One of his internships actually fell through for the semester.
No way.
Yes.
Whoa.
And he's in the public relations / marketing / that area.
Okay.
And
No,
he's
I
like,
like this.
"Is there any opportunity you think you could have for me this semester?"
Yeah, we got an
And
opportunity.
I was like, this is freaking insane that I'm getting this message after literally 2 weeks of talking and thinking. And I had contacted a few other people. I got a feel from some other guys, some
Yeah.
buddies of mine. But I was like, this could be a potentially perfect opportunity. And what I really could see is like, right, we do this now for an internship. He fulfills that. And we grow a relationship and foster it. I mean, I potentially can bring him on, and I want to hire him after
Yeah, let's get him
after
on an
the
interview.
school year's end.
Can we get him on a call?
Yeah, I would love to. He's actually emailing us all of his materials and content, so
Good. Let me know when you got it.
I will.
But Uncle Steve, that was nice having them over the other day.
Oh yeah, you want to share? It was last night actually.
Oh yeah, our cousin's birthday was earlier in the month, and we just
Shout out Luke and Michael.
Yeah, Luke and Michael are cousins. Their birthdays were both earlier in the month. We just had such a busy time, but it was nice. We got to get together and have a little dinner, a little hangout, and got some cake, and it was a fun time. But Uncle Steve, we were talking about podcasts and stuff, and he said, you got to listen to today's podcast, the Dan Bongino Show.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. He said he loves this.
Have you checked it out?
No, not yet. I'll definitely have to check it out, so we'll see.
Yeah, but it was nice. We got to just share a great meal with them, and just catch up. And it's I mean, we haven't really been gathering really in a while. It's even through the holidays, really, we only saw each other once.
It's crazy.
So.
Like, we didn't even purposely do that because our families aren't too picky, but it's crazy how, like, it's just like the time
Gets away. Time and really, yeah, like everything around us really controls the circumstances in which we live day to day through.
For me, it's just crazy. Like, I can't even count the days anymore. There's a lot of the times I don't even know, like, what day it is, bro, because I'm just going. Like, I feel like my days, like, I don't like sleeping. Sleep scares me. I just want to be able to work.
That's crazy to me. I adore sleep so much. I am, like, deliberate about it.
I just always wish I could just fast forward to the next day. Like, my sleep period, I wish I could just go, wake up, and be re-energized.
Like a video game.
Yeah, like, that would be sick.
That's why me and Jake, like, that's a prime example of why me and Jake sometimes say you're AI. Well, sometimes me and Jake have a running joke with Ethan. It's like an inside joke for all of us that he's a little bit of AI. Like there's a portion of his brain that was just taken out and they put a chip in already. Pretty similar to what Musk wants to do, type of stuff. And
I'm gonna meet Elon this year. I already know.
Oh, all right. I like that. You're putting a lot of things out there.
I'm
today.
going to meet Elon.
All right. Hell yeah. Let's make it happen.
2021.
I think it would be possible.
No, I really do, dude. I got it. We're gonna
but
go
for
run,
deliberate
run, run, run.
intentional reasons.
Oh,
There's no point
completely.
in meeting him for senseless purposes.
No, strictly business.
Yeah. There's just neither of us have time for that. He doesn't.
Yes.
We don't.
No.
That just doesn't make
That
sense.
would be a waste of his time.
I agree. I would feel really, really bad for him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the man works crazy. If I were to get a minute with him.
You're more than blessed. Like, that's, wow.
I would get a minute with him so I could talk with him for an hour in a year and a half.
I understand what you're saying by that. Like that idea.
I just need him to know me and then know I need you in the future and it's going to be something crazy.
And you'll come in eventually.
Yes, because I know he's a good man. He's doing the right things. I agree with him so much. I think Gary's inspiration and his passion is me.
Yeah.
Elon's innovation and understanding.
Would you say those are like role models for you? Like, did you have any swimming role models too?
Yeah, Michael Phelps. He was probably the one. I'm just gonna adjust the mic there just for a second, but
yeah, no, that's
so
really,
yeah,
really
Michael
cool.
Phelps would probably have been.
But then you transitioned. When did you start watching content about like Elon Musk or Gary Vee or any of them?
This year.
Okay.
But I can connect and relate. It's like I never put that stuff inside my face. I always was just on my own, bro. That's why any of the problems that happen in the world, they weren't big to me. I'm in my life.
Yeah.
The only problems were inside my personal relationships. There would be problems that felt big to me, and that's why I'm such an emotional person because it's all I focus on. That's life to me. I tend to always block out the outside.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, no,
I love these mentors though that you talk about because recently I was also my girlfriend Deanna, my girlfriend Lillian, her parents Deanna and Jim were so grateful to actually, or not grateful, they were so nice to actually have given me a copy of Gary Vaynerchuk's Crushing It, which is just it's a fantastic book about just entrepreneurship, influence, business, and just really the idea of the business frontier that is the digital market and media. And it was just such an insightful read. And then I got about halfway through, and then I was like, shit, I haven't had time to read, but I found it online in the audiobook form. So for the final half, I listened to that. And then I found out that he actually put little insights in the audio version that aren't even in the book because he was like, why? I need to give value to everyone who listens to this. So if you listen to the audio one, the reason you come here is because I'm going to say extra shit that you actually cannot find in the content of the book itself.
No way.
Yes.
Did you have to pay for it?
No, it's free. It's on YouTube right now. You could go listen to it because Gary's about like literally this man is like, it's interesting because he has a very accelerated and stimulating mentality, I would say. And for a lot of people that could be very off-putting, but if you can get past that and really just connect and see that he really just doesn't have time for BSing, he's got instrumental value for free.
Like when people
he's
make
giving
jokes,
it all away for free.
Do you see it when people make jokes, he doesn't even hardly laugh?
Yeah, he's like, all right, cool. Yeah, great, next.
Is that funny to you? Like, come on.
Yeah, he's waiting for like the substance.
Did you see Roman Atwood's back in the FBI? Did you watch that video?
Yeah, that was insane. The idea that you could
like people
live
can control
your whole
life.
Yeah, literally. That at that point, he kept calling and referring to the incident as a stalker, but that's like cyber hacking. That's not fucking stalking.
No, that's like crazy. He said he downplayed that
yeah, he really did. I don't know if all right, so this is some just YouTube world stuff. Roman Atwood, he's a vlogger, longtime vlogger. He was a part of the like early gens. He recently came out again because they went blank for a whole year. No fucking communication, nothing. Just pretty silent. Couple things here and there he came in to talk, but the reason was because there was an FBI investigation or something open in relation to his family being fucking stalked by cyber hackers, and they were doing all sorts of stuff like, controlling all of the CVV cameras that are on his property, and like trying to talk to the kids through the Rings and the Amazon Alexas, and like literally sending him messages and death threats daily They got literally at their mom's funeral, I believe. He didn't specify what funeral, but he said at a funeral.
I'm assuming it was his mom. This
I'm
had to have been
assuming.
happened because I was watching and he said that, it seemed like this had been going on a long time, even when they were recording still.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it was his mom's funeral, which is crazy because that backdates.
That's
a year or
even
two
worse.
ago now.
But
yeah, it's awful.
what had happened was they got literally bomb threaded at his mother's funeral, which is just insane. And I totally feel for the guy because he's really been just
been
instrumental
a good guy.
to just be teaching people about valuable traits and being a positive role model for males.
I mean,
out
he
there
gets positive
as well.
every day somehow, forces himself like
Yeah,
he did for
still.
a long, long, long period. And they're blessed now. They just got another kid, so that looks great.
Yeah. Shout outs to them. But I wanted to get back to Gary Vee's book, and I just took some notes on some things that I really thought were insightful or interesting throughout the read. And the first thing that I wanted to note throughout the whole book, like I said, it's that stimulated, quick energy type of read. And it's this idea of becoming unapologetically you, right? Like, you at some point, in order for you to successfully put yourself out there on the internet, or just basically put yourself out there anywhere to your stakeholders in life, in public, you have to just commit to being wholeheartedly who you are, right? And don't
and I think
don't
you gotta
worry
not
about
get
that.
scared. You gotta be
Don't
you.
be scared.
And I gotta as much as I always, it's hard to do it all the time.
Like Gary Vee cited,
but
in his early career, like people would tell him like, "Oh, you shouldn't cuss in your content because people aren't gonna listen in that." And he said, right away he said, "Fuck you! No, I'm gonna do what I want to do,
right.
and then people will come. They'll understand. I'll adapt, and that will be my brand."
Right, because there's days. I mean, you're your person, guys. That's you. If you're natural, that's how you're fine. But that doesn't mean someone because they're swearing is a bad person.
Sure.
Is it needed in excess? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But
agreed.
again, it's not the biggest of deal. I think you're also, as long as the person's conscious of their surroundings. You're recording their life. If you're recording their life, you're watching them at points that no one else ever sees.
It's so intimate. It's so intimate.
And that's what makes it great. That's why I'm not even a vlogger. Like, I want to start a vlog channel, more of just like Gary. Like, I just want to talk and people pick out good things I say during the day, maybe.
Sure.
Or, make a motion of my task,
and then
of
some good things would come
out.
out.
Or like the guy in Canada or England or something like that. How he records his life, getting up, going to the gym, working out, going to different job sites. Asheville, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Asheville.
Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Do you think you've committed, and I think we have, in my opinion, but I want to ask, do you think you've become apologetically you yet? Are you comfortable posting online yet? For me, it's new.
There.
This is the first time ever in my life I think I've finally become comfortable with it. I've never before wanted to because I've just never had something of substance or something that drew me to. I'd make a couple posts here or there, but I really didn't understand, the importance or the value of the internet and where everything's going with that. And then I think the second thing, more importantly, was I did not feel like I had a sense of purpose for being unapologetically me yet on the internet. But now, specifically after reading that book, which is really funny because it coincided directly with when we had talked naturally about starting a podcast and opening up a format for us to really just talk and be ourselves. And this book couldn't have aligned any better for really demonstrating that, hey, maybe this is a sign that you're on the right path of doing something for yourself that's could be instrumental.
Yeah. No, it's crazy how those things happen, but it all seems to work together. And you got to expect it's got to be on. I think it's on someone else's time. Like for me, it's on God's time. So like, everything just happens for a reason, and it's crazy because more and more is like even the things I've prayed and seeing them come to life. Like, as much as I don't know what it is, or if maybe it's a manifestation, but I don't know. It's crazy. It does come.
The next sort of idea I had from the reading was he talks a lot about everyone is a personal brand, whether you think you are or you're not. And I thought that was really really important, something that everyone could take away is like, at the end of the day,
you're your person. When you think of it, like, even when I think of someone like one of my friends that just got in a car accident, right? Like, I never talked to her, but I reached out the time then she was in trouble or hurt. A lot of people don't pay attention to your other life, So be you. I think everyone's in their conscious of being the vision of which they grew up in.
Yes.
You're adapting, you're learning, you're changing.
Listen to yourself, be conscious. It's like the idea of, in the book, there was an example of like, this guy found his niche. He stayed in his lane. He was the worm guy. And because he made all of his content and he showed his passion and his love for what he did, in the end, his personal brand, whether it was related to worms or not, grew exponentially. Why? Because he just took the time to really say, hey, why try and be something I'm not? Stay in my lane, be who I am. And in the end, the people who want to see that are going to see that, you know?
Yeah. To be honest, I see myself like with my video career, it's going to be like, that's where I say I relate to Gary so much, because I can't stand the wasted time. I love developing and talking to these things.
Yes.
And I'm happy to share this with you because you're my brother. But like for me, it's more of like in my other lifestyle where people would see me. I don't necessarily have a care to as much right now because I know what I want. I'm on my mission. Mm-hmm. I love connecting and relating because you can understand different points of life, and in which I like to do that with certain people. But again, I like to be very resourceful in my time. So like my video content would be probably a lot more active, you know, and it's just recording my actual day.
That's actually a really good idea that you're talking about, because in the book it talks about the idea that if don't think about social media and content as something I need to create, think about it as something that you're documenting your life.
Honest, that's what I look at it as. It's like a camera. I want to look back. I want to see the things I've grown from, the things I can, like, that's what I want to do it for. Like, I'm not here to please really anybody else. I'm here for myself, and this is where I'm at, and I know I'm learning, and I know I'm going to change, and I'm going to redevelop, and that's fine, and it's important to see those realizations, because when I do these different realizations, like, in my life, that's what propels me the most.
Sure.
You know, when I can come to my consciousness and see reality for what it is. That's what allows me to be the most. And so many people are scared of doing that. I live this. I'm not going to lie. Whatever I'm doing my action, I can't say I didn't do that. I'm doing this action. Right?
Yeah.
So if that's going to be me, and at that point, like, so many people will cover up and say, you know, like, that was you. You did that action. As much as you may not have wanted people to see, you did do it. And you have to acknowledge that. And people that aren't willing to acknowledge that, that's where you start to go down the wrong path, you know, and then, I don't know, that's what I think.
I want to talk about, maybe give some value for people who don't like reading or don't want to read this, or
I don't like reading.
Don't have time to read it, but I highly recommend checking it out because it's in every format that you could possibly.
I read 50 pages, bro. I was tired. I was at 3:30 in the morning when I wrote. I think I read the other book of this, right?
Yeah, you read the first one. So he has an initial book called Crush It.
Yeah.
And then that one was done a couple years ago. And really, the books are an amalgamation of how social media and how our digital brands have juxtaposed or changed with the motion of time. And that's why the book gets better and has more value. And this time, there's a lot of anecdotes about people who followed the first book and became successful. That's why it's called Crushing It. It's for all the people out there that are crushing it. He taught you how to crush it in his interpretation in the first one. Now it's time to hear from the people who read it and listen to him, which is really cool, because if he were to make a third series or do it again, it'll be really interesting to see if there's even more people then, because really it's a simple roadmap. It's so simple. Like, this book is definitely not above anyone's head to read.
No, it's not. And that's what can show. I think, like, we're no people either. Like, anyone can do it. Just put in the work. I mean, that's what the one thing I've noticed about content is you got to just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. That's why I don't care.
That's a really good thing. You just said a very key point. You can't be fearful. You create now.
I'm fine doing like 5 different videos like this a day, because you gotta be, you know, and maybe sometimes you say
one's gonna be a hit, one's gonna be a miss.
Right, but like, why am I gonna try and cater to fit in something?
See, so this falls under the principle of this chapter 2, I believe. It's called "What Still Matters," and here are the key principles. Ready? Intent matters, authenticity matters, passion matters. The speed at which you do it matters. The work you do matters. And the attention you pay matters. And that's it. That boils it down. If you do all of those things and you're proactively caring about those things, your content and all of your efforts, marketing-wise, will reflect that. See, that's the thing that Fortune 500s pay for Gary and his Inc.'s mindset for, is because they're going to sit down and they're going to take the time that you're not going to take to be intentional about all of these ideas.
I would love to still be intentional, and that's where I think hiring our own groups of people.
Correct.
And that's how Gary keeps it so authentic.
Yep.
Authentic.
Authentic.
Oh my gosh, why can't I say that?
You're fine.
But yeah, no, I think we got to definitely get someone hired, get in our team, because we got to start pushing content out. So that's something big.
And that's the thing too, is like there's a whole section I wrote down a note and jotted here. The whole second half of the book is about how to successfully produce or create content from other examples of people across all the various platforms.
And it's different for everyone.
But content is king, and even more importantly, what I think and what I see all the other platforms going to moving forward is audio and visual audio. Like video format is going to be king. Facebook did it once they switched to that with all these watch videos. They got everyone hooked and staying on longer. Because why? Who's the biggest competitor? YouTube. They get the most playtime and airtime. They are literally bigger than cable. Like they get more airtime than cable.
They're being sued for it.
Yeah, literally. It's crazy that people are so fearful of come up with something better.
Real. Be innovative.
Yeah.
Bro, people are scared because dude, because think of it. When you grow a company, you'll do anything to control so you don't have to keep being innovative. You want to rest.
Yes.
You want to get your money and you don't want to have to keep adapting.
Yeah.
But you realize if you spend that money to keep adapting, in the long run, it'd be more. But that's when you can't be chasing the money. And so many people have too much politics wrapped up into it. It's got to be the passion and the idea of where it lied originally. When you first started, that passion has to be integrated and somehow shown throughout the whole time of your business. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of people lose focus of that.
I'm trying to find... this reminds me, a business is like that Greek fable where it's the man who's rolling the stone up a mountain forever and it never stops because he got cursed for that. Mm-hmm. Like by the gods or the goddesses, whatever. Yeah. I don't remember the mythology for this one, but I remember the analogy of it's never ending. It's never ending. There's always this internal or battle that you're going to face at some point.
Right.
And so a business has to be that. A business should not, a lot of people, I think you're right. They don't think about it. They think of it as if it's like a 12-step staircase. And and once I get to that 12th step, I've made it to the top floor and I'm good.
No,
but
that's why businesses fail. Because not a lot of people are willing to put in that time. Get it, bro. Like it's about building your teams. If anything, that's what I realized. That's why we were going to hire the content. We're going to hire the people. We're going to hire the team. We're going to spend the money. We're going to grow together. We have to. Because that's what will help us. We can't do it on our own. You're a fool if you think you can do everything on your own.
Exactly. I entirely agree with that. Idea. So I want to touch again for people too. Another key idea here is think about content as documenting. Not creating. Like when you do that and you live your life, here's an example, right? We might record this podcast today, and then after I'm done here, I might pull a specific sector of this out to create, my backlog and lower down content, my trickle down content, and that trickle down content I'm going to specify depending on the platform because I'm going to understand that catering it is important, but also. Here's the thing, too, I'm learning now.
There's so much
You can't do the same thing on every platform.
You can't.
That's the first thing. If you read this and you're doing the same thing on every platform, you didn't get the idea of this goddamn book.
We just don't have the time.
You have to. See, well, I've started changing that. I have so many ideas.
You have been doing it. You've been doing a great job.
What we're doing, and you'll see as we grow into the show, we will grow into our content across all of our platforms having its own disseminated value.
Yeah, we will. We're just starting off. This is
100%.
Again, like we said, this is documentation. We're documenting like how many hours of our life? None. You're gonna see it way more in the future. Way more. So like we're just starting. That's why it's not a big worry to us. We know we're growing, but you always got to start somewhere. And I think our initial startup is probably better than most will have it.
Now I think the next step for where we're at, because we've learned, we've had a lot of time of trial by fire through running our campaigns for our outdoor maintenance company and for you running your campaigns for your medical transport company, that we've sort of started to come and understand the idea of discovery is the next most important thing to building your exposure and to getting yourself out there, right? And the best two ways to do that are direct messaging, reaching your consumers directly, and then the second one is using hashtags or being conscious of where people are and where the eyes are so you can find them yourself, which is, these are really straightforward ideas, but people do not think about it enough. They're trying to overcomplicate and turn it into this larger than life concept when really it was built by people who are simple, just like you or me. You know what I mean?
You're right. And that's where we just got to keep being us. We can talk about whoever we want. You know what I'm saying? Like those people, it's not like we're scared. Those are what we are interested at this moment in time. We're recording. It just comes down to being yourself. That's it.
Yeah, really.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
And learn yourself. I'm in a learning period. I don't even know who I truly am right now.
No, that's the best part is like, I don't think, see, I listen to Joe Rogan and I've talked with so many people over the age of 50, and even that, they don't know who they are. And they're like, it's a constant, perpetual growth.
I think I'm just so vulnerable with myself. That's why I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly changing. I've grown so much. I'm 17, bro. There's so many things that I work around because I'm 17 with growing my businesses. Like if I were 18, that's a whole different story. And it's like, you just got to be yourself because like you're learning, and that's what makes it so fun.
Right.
I
love that. I really do. What is the rest of your week looking like? How is
rest
that?
of the week's not very busy. As soon as we get off this podcast, literally this is my only interruption this day.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. It's almost like we're using this
like
as
a meditation.
As a brush of breath air to really get across. I just want to say too, for everyone that's listening out there, we'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you would like to hear us talk about in the show, and we really we've been really enjoying like reading or finding specific topics that we want to talk about, and I think marketing and even this idea of business.
Anybody listening else, I think we'd like to understand, more of culture, right? Culture in different areas of how the business economics work. Right, because you can see large diversity between business economics from states to countries. Or I'm planning to pilot something actually in Canada this year.
Really?
Yes. So
that'll be exciting.
Yeah. No, but like that's what I'm saying, and that's why I actually have to get my passport because I'm gonna have to go. But you have to be innovative.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
That's a really good sentiment. I would say.
Like, so if we could find people that know things about different cultures, how business works, maybe untapped industries, untapped markets, right? Because there's a lot of things people don't pay attention to when you're just going throughout your day. If you're not listening to these little things people bring up, those can eventually be big ideas. Like, everyone's just a person. When you think about it, we're so small in the world.
Right.
Think that any precious voice is worth something because you never know. You'll probably never, ever hear it again. There's a lot of people you meet that you'll never see again. When we're walking around outside and in public, it's like, these are real people.
Right.
You'll never see this person again. Why are people so worried about that? Enjoy it. Everyone has a story. Everyone gets so caught up in moment, and they let their, and that's why when you think about it, what are the two things called, Chad, again, with your mind? You've got your synapse, you've got your
what else?
What else is a thing? Come on.
What are you looking for?
Remember what we were talking about and with the video going to put up the lights in Wheaton?
Yeah, he was talking about your synapse and then adrenaline. Are you talking about
like
the release of serotonin and
yes.
versus dopamine?
Yes.
And the balancing of that in our brains?
Yeah.
And how that's off for a lot of people.
There's so many reasons why those things keep fluctuating.
Correct. Yeah, there's a lot of factors at play. The one thing about listening to a lot of medical content or listening to podcasts that talk in long form about like neuroscience or biology or any of these type of topics is it is mind-boggling how impeccable of a system and a computer our bodies are in themselves. Like every little piece has its fucking part, and it's so cool to see how they all work, and like literally one of them could fail, and it's so vast how many outcomes or repercussions can come from something little failing in another versus a different person, and the variety of experiences we have even when one thing is wrong in our brain across many people. For example, like with ADHD, the way that it's foreseen in like your life is entirely different than how I see it affect some of my other friends and in their lives. And
I think it's how you control it, and I think I handle it weirdly just because I'm such a strong head, like I always say,
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. There's Simba running through, little guy.
Yeah, I bet you someone's here.
Yeah, there probably is. I think this is actually a good time to wrap it up. I think we're just breaching over a
Yeah, I got to get
an
to
hour
work.
mark.
It's almost 5:00.
Yeah, no, I think
I wish we could talk. I like to talk for hours. There's so much that goes on, but it's nice. This is more of a peaceful rest. That's why I'm not worried about pushing, because, like you said, we can grab 15 minutes of this conversation and put that out as it.
Yeah,
you know?
no. And if I could leave you with anything, it's really take the time, explore, find something that intrigues you, read about it, learn about
We're
it.
just people.
Yeah, just have a great time, and really, Gary, shout out to you for writing an amazing book. And
I would love to meet you. Hit me up, Gary. I'm going to start getting going on my social media soon. He'll see us.
Yeah.
We're good. But if you hear us, reach out.
And if you've made it this far, please
I doubt anyone
like,
did,
subscribe,
but
share with your friends and family. We have a very exciting week coming up. We'll have the whole group on with all of our hosts this Wednesday for another gathering session. And then Friday, we're actually having on Cole Ryan, which will be a very exciting interview. He's a artist and producer from the area. So make sure to stick around and check out for that. It will be our first Gen Z episode. So he's in our generation, and we're taking the time to highlight people who are getting their shit done. You don't have to wait forever. You can start doing it now, living your life now.
Because tomorrow's not here. Not
exactly.
guaranteed. So get your ass up.
And on that note, Ethan, thank you for your time, and
course, bro.
thank you
Thank
guys
you.
for your time if you've made it this far, for listening, and we look forward to producing more content. Have a great evening, and work hard all week.
See you
Bye.
later. Bye.